Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have pen and paper because I'm going to explain to you something that you weren't aware of.
What's up, and welcome back to the underground bunker from an undisclosed location somewhere.
Actually, I think it's time to reveal that our underground bunker is actually, ironically, if you've heard about Dana White and the UFC, and he bought that private island.
Let's talk about that. Oh my
let's
God.
Let's just say we never have to work again for the rest of our damn lives.
So,
and how cool would that be if that were true?
That would be pretty cool.
Hey, I want to buy your guys' island.
Dude, you know how cool this sounds for 13-year-old me to be like, oh my God, we're literally having a Mortal Kombat tournament on an island somewhere.
It better be like Enter the Dragon and shit, man. God damn it. Dana White, don't fuck us, man.
This we should explain this episode. So this is going to be a little bit different than usual because we originally planned. Excuse me.
We had a plan and now we hate Paul, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mentioned
you can't hate Paul. Once you meet him, you'll know next week.
As I mentioned on Loud Sports this week, we're doing a crossover. So he's going to come on the show and do an episode of Tinfoil Radio, and then Tyler and I will be on the Loud Sports feed.
Well, it'll be more me on, because you're on Loud Sports anyway.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is I'm like the middle of the Venn diagram of the two shows.
It's a terrible Venn diagram.
Ow.
I'm just spicy.
So we had originally planned to do the Tiger King episode this week, but
I refused to watch it.
Yeah, Tyler, first of all, didn't watch it. Secondly, there was a confusion and conflict of scheduling. So we will be talking about Tyler King.
I'm the Tyler King, bitches.
My name's Tyler King.
My name's Tyler King. I'm going to make a music video.
There's going to be a random listener named Tyler King and be like, what the fuck's so funny about my name?
Right?
The Tiger King episode will be with Paul next week. So this week, and it literally happened as we're about to record the episode. It was a couple hours before we messed up the schedules. But, so this is, I needed this episode anyway. Let's just have a relaxed, fit, laid-back episode. And we're just kind of...
None of them tight jeans.
There's something I learned today.
Boot cut. Yeah.
We kind of live in our own weird conspiracy theory world.
Yeah, just for an example, the D.B. Cooper story, okay, right? You've heard of that one? The guy who hijacked that. First of all, he actually gave his name as Dan Cooper, folks, and that leads to a whole thing with Canadian comic books, if you will. Honestly, read up on it. I'm not kidding. It's funny.
You know what this is making me think of? Because that's a good... We should cover...
Bermuda Triangle. Jimmy Hoffa, where is he buried? Right? Things like that. Like, there are tons of conspiracy theories. You know, was there a lone gunman on the mall at JFK's? Come on. I mean, there's a million.
But now we are currently living in, and we touched on it in our coronavirus episode.
Which was weeks ago, and now everything's changed.
Oh, my gosh. How much has changed in that 3 weeks? And we covered
I remember we were doing that episode. I remember doing it and going like, there was not even a thought in my mind that things were going to start closing.
I didn't think it was going to get this bad.
Not even close, man. I was like, no, this is just a thing. It's just like the bird flu and shit back in the day. And
and I mentioned in that episode, I know somebody that is close to the situation, is working. He works in the medical field. He's on the front lines of this stuff, and even he was a big source for that coronavirus episode, and him and I have been talking about it as the weeks have gone on, and the more we talk about it, the more he's like, yeah, even I didn't see this coming. Like, where we were at, we didn't think it would get as bad as we are. And some places aren't even close to their peaks. And it is crazy times we're living in. And that's when I really started.
I still feel positive about us here in Iowa. I do.
No, where we live, we're very fortunate that we're not hit nearly as hard as other places. We've still had, sadly, a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
But it could be worse, and we're just trying to get through it. And this is what we're living in now. We're living in a world where
ideally nobody's dying from this. Okay, like let's just say
that's a perfect world. Yeah,
that's a perfect world. Nobody is dying from this. However, the next best thing to me is that we flatten the curve enough so that the minimum amount of people that could from this, hopefully recover. But I mean, if they do, it's a minimum. Like.
Yeah,
I hate to say the needs of the one and the needs of the few, like Star Trek and shit, but I'm sorry.
So
it's kind of like that right now.
What we're going to be doing this episode, and I think we did our best to try to avoid COVID-19 and all the stuff around it, and that's why I kind of enjoyed the Alex episodes, because they were a step away from something we never really do. This is our first shot at doing the profiles and conspiracy.
But almost every one of those episodes we started off talking about it.
Right. There's a little bit of this in those episodes. And as much as at the end I was so over Alex, it was a nice escape to do this show. But we're also at a point where it's kind of hard not to talk about the coronavirus. So this episode is really just going to be Tyler and Jake's therapy session about coronavirus. And maybe if you're listening
Motherfuckers!
Maybe if you're listening to it and you're having hard times, it can be something that maybe helps and it takes your mind off.
Has anybody ever emailed us about those conspiracy theories? No?
I will need to check the email. I'll do that right now, actually. Now you're just calling me
I don't know.
out
Nobody ever checked it. Because why not? I mean, sometimes on that one show over there, they do on Fridays, they do a listener, they do their thing where the listeners dictate the show. Uh-huh. And if we have any emails while we're kind of waiting, I'll talk about some stuff. So yeah, it's a little nothing. Okay.
I didn't expect to see anything either.
I know.
But hey, cool. Like you just said, Tinfoil Radio Podcast at gmail.com. That is where you can send those. And yeah, we'll definitely have listener episodes in the future.
I used to have this friend, and he was. I thought he was a good friend, but more often than anything, he was just more of a drinking buddy. And we had a falling out later on and whatnot. And I haven't seen him in a good long 10 years, and it's fine, whatever. But when we were hanging out all the time, we worked together at a couple different places.
Yeah.
And when we would go out, because we were drinking every night, we were in our 20s and shit.
Yeah.
When we would go out with the people from work, it's kind of hard not to talk to the people from work about work while you're out, not at work.
Yeah.
It's kind of, yeah, you could be talking about your personal lives, but generally the purpose of going out as a group after work is to bitch about work.
Yeah.
And he would be with us on many of those occasions, and he would turn to me and just be like, you know what I think about work is just really awesome is work, and like just being a dick. Like making everybody feel bad at the table.
Yeah.
For talking about work with your work people. Honestly, that's what the fucking coronavirus is, dude. It is. There is nothing else to fucking talk about.
It is dominating.
We are all work friends in the fucking COVID-19 pandemic, dude, and we can't stop talking about work because there's nothing else to fucking talk about.
And the majority of my friends are essential workers, so we're all working while this happens. So that's why we need to do that, man. I mean, we've been avoiding this for weeks. I was telling you.
Let's talk about what's essential. Let's talk about whether we would have been prepared to have some sort of a stockpile and start giving people meals that needed them instead of keeping fucking McDonald's open and shit. And having something in place for those workers at McDonald's and shit to weather some sort of a storm. Not sure if you know this, but that $1,200 that we're supposedly getting, it's a loan. You have to pay that back next year.
Yeah, it's an advance on your taxes.
That's a bunch of fucking horse shit.
Yeah, because it's your money in the first place. Yeah.
Just like Social Security, which we're not going to get into. Fuck.
But this is the thing.
But this is what I'm angry about right now is that we did have a pandemic response team in place, and we don't. And if you, we should have had one.
I know, but I want to kind of push back on that.
That's fine.
Because that was in 2018, and I'm not a big Trump guy. Anybody that knows me knows I hate Trump. I'm not gonna, I do my best to be in the middle and be diligent when we cover topics and things, but I don't like our president. But I will say that he couldn't have predicted this, so I don't necessarily...
But screw the response team. Look at what, so far...
No, and it is showing that maybe that was a more essential thing than we thought. And this whole thing, my big problem with this is it really shows how bad we were prepared for something like this.
It shows how ill-prepared our leaders are to be leaders.
And that's the thing. Like, with something like this, that where a lot of people can recover, and while it is a serious disease, people can recover from it, and there are people that recover. To think that this isn't like something on the level of like AIDS or something. If this were an outbreak like AIDS, you know how many more people would be dead than there already are right now, which is way too many. Mm. That's what upset me.
And AIDS wasn't airborne, guys. COVID-19 is. I mean, we're standing 6 feet apart, but we shouldn't even be in the same fucking room, honestly. Just saying.
Wow.
In general. Well, you stink.
I was going to say, we're usually 6 feet apart anyway. Yeah, it just had to add
He doesn't really stink. I think he smells like flowers.
Thank you. We had to make changes to how we do the show, and a lot of people are adapting different things, and it's just, it does suck that all these people have died and how bad it has really gotten. And what's frustrating to me, and I was ready to launch into a rant, and there's still a lot of things that I'm upset about. To me, I think a lot of the coverage of this has been unbelievably irresponsible in cases.
Oh, God, yes.
Some cases...
Can you give us some context for the numbers before you start throwing them out there?
Yeah, some cases, I think it's been handled well. But a lot of the time, it has not been handled well.
Poor.
And it does not help that the media that we have has lost a lot of credibility in the last 4 years. Part of that's Trump, but part of that's also their own stupidity. A lot of it is their own stupidity. And we're getting to see a lot of that. And there's just some coverage where I'm like, this is irresponsible. People are going to die. And now the same people that were complaining about it being politicized are making it even more political because they're trying to sacrifice grandma and grandpa to the almighty God that is the market that we have. That's what we're really seeing. We're seeing the level of greed of some people. And I understand.
And
we need an economy. I totally understand that. And this is tanking our economy, and we got to figure something out. But I'm not going to make people go back to work during a pandemic.
If Jeff Bezos gave everybody in America $10,000, he would still have $60 billion. You got to understand how much more a billion is than a million. Okay? Like, people kind of, I think the American public in general kind of conflates millionaire and billionaire. They do sound alike if you're just talking real fast. Right. Sometimes you do have to, I'm serious, sometimes you do have to kind of like, millionaire or billionaire?
That's why, but it's also used for emphasis. Meaning like
there are shitload of millionaires now. Yeah. Shitload of millionaires. Are you kidding? I mean, people that should not be millionaires are millionaires, but whatever, that's beside the point. That we could talk about that all day. But when you think about it, there's a really famous picture on the internet somewhere, and it's a tennis court from a bird's eye view, and like a very small portion, okay, and I think it's $100 bills, a very small portion of one side of the tennis court is, say, like, an eighth of a square of that side is a stack of bills, and it's, whatever, and it's $100 bills, and that's $1 million in real life. Like, that's $1 million of money. And then next to it is what looks like a fucking trailer. Okay? And that's the fucking stack. I'm talking like a big ass RV. That's the stack of $100 bills. That's $1 billion. You need to understand how much more that is. And I'm not a wealth redistribution type of guy. That's not my thing. In fact, I saw this great thing on the other day. Like, as soon as you hit $999 million, everything else, goes back to this, and you get a dog park named after you. I mean, fucking great, Like, that's great to me, because you still have more money than you know what to do with, and you get some sort of plaque or whatever the fuck you're looking for. Yeah. But it's irresponsible, and it's dangerous. When you're looking at all the things that could be done, man, I had somebody close to me like try and argue with me about all the good things we have because of billionaires, and
oh my God,
that doesn't hold water.
Well, here's another
credibility lost.
Well, that's the thing, and it is frustrating because people say don't politicize it, don't do this, that, or thing, and it's like it's impossible not to, because we are forced to constantly talk about this, and we are forced to look. It's putting a microscope on our country, and it's saying, look at what you are doing to
and look at how fucking dirty it is. It's like the black light on Dateline, dude, in a fucking hotel room.
Days and it should have. Let's just dial it back to the simplest thing, because we can go, and I'm sure we'll go back and forth on this about Trump's response, because that has been at times pathetic,
and at best pathetic, at worst dangerous.
Serviceable? No, I don't think he's reached that level yet, but we'll get to that.
Well, yeah.
But even going back to the most basic thing, say he did respond in the right amount of time, and it was perfect. Everything's great. But then it still took them 4 days to vote to give money to people to help. And you know what was inside those bills? These stupid incentives they're trying to... The Franklin Center stuff. The Green New Deal was not in this, by the way. That's a conspiracy theory.
No.
That's not in there. Even the president said that, but who knows? We'll get to him. We will get to Trump, because he's going to be his whole thing. We're probably going to lose listeners after this episode. I don't care anymore. I really don't. No.
They're showing you who they are, and if you're not paying attention, then I can't help you.
You can still support Trump,
I guess,
after this if you want. That could be your... And I'm
sure.
There's people I know that are going to still be a Trump supporter.
Me
whatever.
Too.
I don't care about that. I just want you to just be honest with how he has handled this situation.
Yeah.
Educate yourself and get the right information. Because if you're going to get these stupid conspiracy
every president
theories,
faces a fucking test. A test of leadership. Every fucking one. And you knew that he was going to fucking face one. And this is showing us how ill-prepared he was. And has been. And that's why... I mean, go. You say whatever you want. I've been wanting to get him done since the election. I don't care. Honestly, I'm one of those people who's like, look, as soon as he admitted to sexually assaulting women and made fun of disabled people on public television, like national television, I honestly think there should have been some sort of like, hey, that disqualifies you, man. Yeah. Like there should be a moral center in our country, and there's not.
No,
and that's what disgusts me. Both sides, left and right.
Well, yeah,
will change.
Pelosi and Schumer are
to suit their own narratives.
They are the most annoying duo. Now, I don't know where I am politically anymore. I'm all over the place.
I'm independent.
I registered as Democrat.
I'd love to try to get a third party going.
But yeah, I wish there was a third party. And I'll be honest.
I know how to do it.
I don't like a lot of Democrats. I don't like Schumer. I don't like Pelosi. I think that in people putting all the blame on Pelosi for this bill not getting passed.
Dude, during the 2018 elections,
if Rand Paul didn't have the coronavirus himself, he would have voted against this. Because that's just his brand.
Hey, also, I just want to let you know, like, how much, like, nationally, conservatives hate like, she's become, like, this figurehead, almost, like, Hillary's kind of, like, out of the picture a little bit, not as much in the picture as she used to be. It's more...
tries to stay relevant.
Yeah, it's more Pelosi, but it's really fun. It's really interesting just to show you, illustrate to you how nationally that is, like, such a figurehead of hate towards she has nothing to do with our state whatsoever. Nothing. She doesn't have a relative that lives here. She didn't get married to a dude who grew up here. She's not friends with any of the fucking senators that were running for election or re-election here. Nothing. And yet, when you saw anti-Democrat candidates, political ads, they always showed them with Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, this fucker's with Nancy Pelosi. They're going to take us down. And it's like, what?
No, and that's why I pointed out.
She literally does nothing to do,
I pointed out Pelosi because
it's just funny.
That's where some of the frustration has gone as well. Where some of those things that were in that bill should not have been in there.
No.
And that way, we would have gotten more money if they've done that. But, they don't care about us. And that's any politician.
They're not rock stars and they're not your friends. Stop treating them as such, please.
Yeah.
Both ways.
So, well, this is a conspiracy show. So I want to go into this a little bit. The Green New Deal is something that I think is funny because it wasn't even in this bill, but it has it's a 3-word phrase that is a buzz phrase that they know will get people worked up if they say Green New Deal. Uh-huh. If they put that on anything, that gets the left worked up. Or that gets the right worked up. Sorry. The left is...
The right is kind of 3 syllables. Pizza, Gate, AOC, Green New Deal, Hillary, Pelosi. Right. Whoa! I just came up with my own conspiracy.
But that's there you go. So there's that conspiracy. It's not in there. There's a lot of bad, stupid stuff that shouldn't be in there that's in there, but it's not in there.
Who killed Lincoln?
John Wilkes Booth.
3 names. Lincoln was a Republican. What?
That's a good one.
Conspiracy.
That's another.
If you have 3 words or 3 syllables, you better watch out because Republicans will beat your ass.
We're coming for you, Bucko.
We're coming for you, pal. See, let's throw some fun in there.
Yeah. No. That it's not in there, but
it's not in the fucking bill. There's no fun in the bill.
I don't know how to say. It's the coronavirus. Nothing's fun.
Son of a
pandemic. See what it's done to us? I'm screaming.
Coronavirus.
That is way too many syllables.
No, that's 2 sets of 3.
6.
6.
Operation 666.
Oh, fuck.
Alex was telling the truth. No. That's what coronavirus is doing to us.
Well, eat shit.
I hate it. I hate this so much. This sucks. It sucks. Because I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't even know who to believe anymore. I definitely don't trust China.
I'm just really disappointed that I'm alive during this period of human history. I think I've been great in the 60s. This
is like...
Dead by like 89. Oh, man. Perfect.
This is my generation's Chernobyl.
Born in 40. No. Wait. How old was it? 60? I want to be 18 when the 60s... No, I want to be 16 when the 60s starts. Okay. You keep going. I'll do the math.
What is going on with you over there?
I'm talking about how cool my life would have been if I was born in like 1940 and like...
but do you agree with that assessment?
Coked myself out in the 80s and died in 89. What?
If it comes out that China was lying, which they probably were...
about what? I mean, there's so many things they could be lying about.
Exactly. There's so much to this.
In your mind, what?
But say I think it would be my generation's Chernobyl if it comes out that it was a gross level of incompetence by the communist regime, and they would do what happened with Chernobyl, where they, instead of worrying about fixing it right away, it's how do we keep this here and not get it out and not let people know how bad it was. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong with that. But I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to think that they might be lying about something. I bet America would probably lie if it originated here. We'd probably change, skew some numbers a little bit. You don't think we would do that? But I don't know if we should trust those numbers. And now's not the time. Now is the time for stopping cases and trying to flatten the curve, the phrase. Now is not the time to go after China. And I don't like that some people are trying to push that right now. And it's like, what do we get?
Yeah, don't start a war with fucking China.
That's the thing. It's not gonna end well.
God damn it! I know that Republicans like to start wars because it fucking keeps them in office and shit and makes them all whatever. But don't. But can we get a different Republican if we're gonna have a war? I mean, somebody who's been in the military. So maybe somebody who's not a fraud. That would be great. You know what would be best? No war at all. That'd be best. No war.
Yeah. Now we're fighting an invisible war.
The Chinese war.
Yeah, well, and it goes, and it's amazing of the level of things that come out from this. And when I started this show, when I pitched this show to you, and the first thing I said in the first episode, I like to do this show because conspiracy theories are fun, and it's a fun way to kind of understand how human beings try to rationalize things they don't understand. Mm-hmm. We are living in like 6 different conspiracy theories in real time right now.
I know, it's pandemic. Fucking insane, dude.
There's the 5G theory. There's the bioweapon theory that it escaped a lab.
It could be. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. That's why I trust scientists. Duh.
It's all a plan to get a vaccine. Bill Gates wants to get you hooked on a vaccine to think that you're going to cure that, but it's actually going to, mind control you or some stupid shit. I don't know. There's a lot. Yeah,
right. Oh God, you know what? Hey, anti-vaxxers. You know what? Go out and play on the playground, motherfucker. Oh my God, my brother was telling me real quick. My brother was saying like, oh, they're trying to keep churches open and shit for. For Easter or whatever, and they're trying to give special dispensations for churches to remain, open. And I told him, I was like, you know what? If those are the kind of people that are that stupid, they're probably flat earthers too. And you know what? Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah. Please go out and worship at the church of your choice. Because guess what? We need you out of the gene pool permanently. You're dumbing us down.
I gotta
please all go to church on Easter Sunday if you can't fucking stand not going to church and you believe the Lord will protect you. Please go to fucking church. I urge you.
Did you see Did you see that lady that got arrested? Where was it at? I gotta look this up because she said that she was covered in the blood of Christ, so she can't get the coronavirus.
Holy fuck!
I gotta double check.
Yeah, our governor issued a day of prayer here.
Okay, this is the thing. Can we just focus on trying to eliminate this virus? Can we?
You go ahead and pray, but can you not use my government to do it? You fucking asshole. Thanks.
We'll cut that out.
Well, hey, you know what? No. Here's something really actually interesting about that, okay? Is that I saw something on Facebook where the ACLU is trying to start a lawsuit with Governor Reynolds because she used because it's against separation of church and state, and she used the Christian right? Okay, understand, but guess what? She said in her statement, she spoke about Easter, but also Passover. And for those of you who are not aware, Passover is traditionally a Jewish holiday. So
it started on Tuesday, I think.
So I'm really sorry for all of you ACLUers out there, but no, you don't have a case.
Yeah. And
the fact that she didn't mention like 1 or 2, but did 2 or 3, like that's not a case.
Well, and here's what thing that I'm so upset about is this is where I keep getting driven up a wall is the unrelenting political aspect of it. And it's like I said earlier, it is hard not to bring politics into this because you are relying on your government in this scenario. Because unfortunately, we're relying on the government, and it is frustrating to see where you're seeing how incompetent some people can be. Some people, I think, are doing a very good job, a very serviceable job. I personally think that some people may disagree with me, but I think where we live in Iowa, I think Governor Reynolds is doing a good job. She could be doing better, maybe.
She did a good job in the first couple weeks. However, okay.
I don't think we should do a shelter in place. I just don't think
it's fine. And let's be honest. The reason why she doesn't want to is we basically are anyway. What she's done. There's arguments to be made both ways. My thing is, okay, you got a hospital with an emergency room, right? And you want to use all of that facility in that hospital to be prepared for COVID-19 patients. Mm-hmm. That's why you're saying, like, hey, knee replacements and hip replacements, non-essential surgeries are being, they're banned.
Yeah.
That's fair, right? Because that's where those take place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's another thing, another clinic, if you will, where nothing can be used to help with COVID-19, and she's also banned that particular clinic's activities as well. I won't say because I don't want to lose any more listeners than we already have. But my argument against that, whether you believe in the practice or not, or are for or against, whatever, my argument is that it's dumb because nothing. A knee surgery is going to take place in a surgical in a surgery room. Operating room at a hospital. You don't want to have those taking place if you need to have, people recovering. Right. But nobody's going to not, get me? Nobody's going to use that.
Well,
and that's what bugs me is that
it's hard to do because
some people are using it as a way to subvert some of our rights. And I don't like that, you were talking about.
Yeah. But it's so hard to dictate to what's essential, what's not. And all.
Right.
And the thing that sucks about this is, the federal government's going to do what they do and everything, but it really comes down.
Which is fuck up.
It really comes down to state governments to handle it in each way because each state is its own case.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And there's some states that have been doing a great. Have you been watching the Ohio governor?
Yeah.
What a fucking stud. And he's a Republican.
Yeah.
So that just shows you right there. I don't have a problem with Republicans. I have a problem with stupid politicians who expect to be treated like rock stars and who act like our friends. They're neither.
Yeah.
And honestly, most of the ones that we have here in Iowa, unfortunately, are those types who just don't. They're so high on a pedestal that they're not hearing our voices.
Yeah.
There are employees, motherfucker.
No, that's the most annoying thing is we're their quote air quotes boss, but it always seems like it never works out.
Oh, never
the way we want it to, and that's some things I just
because the people don't have a lobbyist, motherfucker.
I'm starting to realize something about how maybe because I was
the people need a lobbyist.
I was a Bernie supporter, but this is really changing my tune a little bit about our government and just for starters, we shouldn't have to be enacting things with our president to make private companies manufacture things that we should have already. I'm grateful for those companies, and I'm glad that those companies have stepped up and done the right thing and not done the right thing, but they did. Nobody asked them to do those things unless they were forced by the government. It's not all companies were.
A lot of companies have stepped up without that.
And they've done
that's honorable.
A great job, and I think that's great. But
positive stories.
We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to go to these private companies.
But let's talk about a conspiracy because I have.
Here you go.
I got a conspiracy, and I don't know if it's true or not. I really don't. But I read a story where states, various states, none were specifically mentioned, where equipment, PPE and stuff like that is coming in on airports and being stopped and confiscated by federal agents who then remove it. And then when the state reaches out to the federal government to get what they bought already back, they are told that they should buy their own supplies. And then the federal government is selling it back to the states at a massively upcharge. And that doesn't make any sense to me. A, it would be pretty easy to figure out if that's bullshit or not. A. B, why go through all the trouble? Just steal the money anyway, like you've been doing the last fucking 3 years. I mean,
Yeah.
why this elaborate plan, man? Like, you can just hey, your buddy Steve has the key to Fort Knox. You can literally go in there and just jerk off on the gold right now. Why the elaborate, stupid plan?
Confiscation.
Listen, we're going to confiscate the shit that they already bought. Then we're going to try and sell it back to them at a profit. And if they don't like us, we're going to say, fuck you, America. Like, that makes no... See, we try to lighten the mood a little bit. That's a ridiculous conspiracy.
I'm sure it actually exists somewhere else on the internet.
Oh, I'm sure. Look it up.
Yeah.
If it's true, fuck that. But I seriously...
This has made me realize how just incompetent our government it really is. And
that's really the only thing.
Can't rely on them.
The only thing I can rely on right now in terms of facts and information is the fact that everyone who is in a leadership position in this country should not be in a leadership position in this country anymore, ever again. Bam.
Yeah. And that's actually probably the best way we could talk about Trump without really dividing a fan base. But I don't know. I'm kind of at the point where I don't care because I'm very upset. And I'm very upset because he did not... This is the one time where I could have just said, you know what? I'm happy he got this right. I'm happy he figured this out. I would love to cheer on our president. But... And it's me. I would still find something bad about him because I don't like him. That's what happens when there's a president that's elected that you don't like. You get upset with everything they do. It's just part of life.
He's not a good representation of our country, I feel like. Anyway, whatever.
Well,
my opinion.
I feel like my big anger with him is I just don't think he really understood the severity of this. And he really couldn't comprehend this was something that he could just ignore.
Up until February, he was saying it was going to be like 15 cases down to nothing.
He was trying to ignore it, completely ignore it, and just think, oh, well, this will go away. He literally said in interviews, it'll be a miracle, it'll change, and it's like, no, it won't. You have to. Did you not see what it did to that country?
And speaking of the fucking, I said it was dangerous. And you said maybe not yet. Well, let me tell you, there's this hydroxychloroquine that he's been touting and telling people, what do you got to lose? Well, your life. Okay, that's dangerous. People are going to die. People have died from taking this shit.
Well,
and the reason why is because, well, I don't know the reason, but it sure seems odd that the Trump family has a lot of assets tied up in this French company that makes a brand name of that particular.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I saw that come out recently.
That's not really a conspiracy. That's something you can check by opening up the fucking internet and looking up fucking financial records.
And this is what's annoying. And that's another.
So that's not a conspiracy. Sorry.
And that is why I was so annoyed with one. That's bullshit. He shouldn't have that. He should not have any.
Should not be allowed to make any suggestion. Somebody needs to step up and go, hey, stop that.
They made Jimmy Carter sell his peanut farm because they didn't want to make money.
Motherfuckers got golf resorts in 8 countries, bitches.
He's trying to make events go to Mar-a-Lago. He's trying to still run his empire in New York, and now he's tied up with this stuff.
Hey, you know what would really help out President Trump is if you opened all these empty fucking hotels and let us use it for like COVID-19. No, you weren't nice to me.
And here's another thing that's
frustrating. Fuck you. You're an awful human being. How about that?
You know what? A lot of people stopped listening at this point.
I know. I'm sorry, but that's
I gotta let it out of my chest. What is this? Alien?
Yeah. There's a face mask for you.
Yeah. No, have you seen the one that says it's the
face hugger? Yeah.
Face hugger, and it's holding up a sign that says free mask.
I have.
It's pretty funny.
I think you posted it and I shared it.
I'd wear that though.
You know, it's too bad.
I saw a guy that he's a face. He does like face effects, visual effects, makeup artist. Yeah, he made his own mask, but he made it like a mold of his face, and then put the end of the mask out so it looked like he had it sticking out of his mouth, and it looked legit. Like it literally looked like his face, and then he had this like, like the end of a gas mask. He had that in his mouth. And it was pretty dope. I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Scary as hell, because when I first saw it, I was like, does that guy have something? And then I saw it said makeup artist, and I was like, oh, geez. But so there's some
that sounds cool.
There's some light in there. Back to getting mad at our president. The thing that frustrated me was states that weren't getting aid. Here's what I
and
really
I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
Listen, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt me. I'm telling
you.
the truth.
I'm not really anyway. Go for it. Go.
No. Here's what I was upset about. But at the same time, at least he was kind of honest. In this scenario, so some reporter asked him, why are some states getting aid and some states not? Why are these states getting on? And at the time, Florida was getting 100% of the aid when they still didn't close the beaches.
Yeah.
Back to the story.
Because Florida's friends.
Back to the story. We're talking about Trump here. He says, well, I think some people... Essentially, how did he say this? I need to look this up.
I thought it was the Michigan governor.
He mentions her.
Female. He doesn't say her by name, but it's clear that she's been critical.
He mentions Inslee too, didn't he?
Yeah, she's been critical of him, and so
But what he was trying to insinuate was when she said, "Why are these states not getting aid?" And he's like, "Well, some people would like to think that it relays back to the election, is what it does, and." Florida's a big swing state. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the map, hold on, I'll pull it up because I want to be right on this. So give me just 1 second here. So what I was referring to was simply saying that some states like Florida got all the aid that they wanted, and it's in some other states that would have an effect on the election is where they got more aid, those states. And he also, when he talks about giving people aid, when he talks about helping people in a state, he's telling governors to be appreciative of him. Remember that? You know what that sounds like? Kim Jong-un. That's who that sounds like.
It also sounds like quid pro quo a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which is, by the way, what kind of world leader says that? Oh, I'm going to protect my citizens.
A fucking dictator.
I'm going to give you this, but you need to do this. You need to praise me and be appreciative. You know what he sounds like? He sounds like he thinks he sounds like a demagogue. That's what he is.
That's what they all are.
That's all politicians. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And that's the thing and I understand we're a conspiracy show and we've mostly just been bitching about the coronavirus, but like we said, it's affecting our lives and we are living in a lot of conspiracies right now, and I'm sure that's one of them.
Right.
That Trump is only giving aid to certain states, and maybe that's not true.
These are numbers you can look up, folks. And I'm not gonna. I do this other podcast. I do that stuff over there.
Yeah, plug away, buddy.
Well, it's called Ye Old Falling Down with T-Bird. Thanks, man. Available on Spotify. And I just restarted it the other day because I got to be honest. I don't want to hold anybody's hand, and I don't want. I know that some people are just not going to listen if I criticize Republicans. I know that, which is unfortunate because I criticize everything in government. I criticize everything that doesn't make sense, and I criticize everything about our society in general. And if you don't like that, then I guess. But it's really easy to look up and see how corrupt this regime, not administrative, has been. It's pretty easy to look up the numbers. You don't have to rely on a news source. You can look them up yourself with the the United States. There's plenty of sources.
Yeah. And I don't. What I was getting.
So yeah.
What it was, I'm pretty sure you could find it somewhere. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but. Then I got swooped up in a conspiracy because who knows? And this is what's frustrating.
We've gotten all the aid we needed apparently, but we also,
Well, here's what's frustrating about living in this time, other than the obvious death and sickness that is going on.
Not nearly enough porn.
That's true. That's true. Hey, support porn stars. If they have an OnlyFans, give them some money. You know why? Because they can't work right now without that money. You can't have sex with someone 6 feet away.
Remind me to tell you something about something after the show.
So anyway, how much you want to bet as soon as we get out of this, there's got to be coronavirus porn at this point.
There is.
There is already?
Yeah, it's quarantine stuff. It's like I just on Pornhub I just looked up coronavirus. I do this every time. Every time we have a conspiracy.
That's the research you do for the show.
we have flat Earth porn. Look it up.
Have you looked up Alex Jones Infowars porn?
I have not.
That's a hole you don't want to go.
Don't want to. Yeah, that is a hole, if you will, that I do not want to go down. Alex Jones, POV.
Oh my God!
It looks like a clitoris.
He's not having sex. He's just shooting the globalists. Oh, I love it.
Look at all the zits on his back from the steroids. Gross.
Jesus Christ, where is this bit going? This is what coronavirus has done to us.
Yes, we're
COVID-19, man. It's ruining our lives.
But no, I do think honestly that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I hope. I'm not one to pray, and I definitely do not want to tell you or anybody else whether you should or not. That's up to you and your God. But I'm hopeful. I'm still. Yeah. I'm somebody who's a realist. I think if you listen to the show, you probably know that I am a realist who delves quite a bit into pessimism. Straight up.
Very cynical.
I'm pretty fucking jaded, okay?
I think you've made me angrier. I was fine, but the more I've done this show with you, the angrier
You've made me more positive.
Well, look at
I'm
that.
sucking all the positive energy out of you and giving you my negative.
I do it. You're a damn psychic vampire.
I'm the power of Grayskull. Wait, that's not the quote.
God, this show's off the rails.
Jesus.
This is the quarantine. This is the
batshit insane cabin fever
We
episode.
just did 4 weeks of Alex Jones.
Ugh, and now we're insane from that.
And in that time, shit has hit the fan.
Every week it's been like, okay.
We're gonna talk about COVID? No, we're not gonna do that. We did that episode a couple weeks ago. Are we gonna talk every
episode we start off with like, hey, by the way, I know it's scary, but let's get into it.
I would love for this to be the last time we talk about coronavirus.
It's not going to be.
I would hope it will be. Well, my plan is to just keep going forward with the show.
Yeah.
Because I think we owe it to ourselves and to the few people that do listen to this show.
We'll probably at the beginning of each show, kind of do a little update type of thing and whatever.
Pandemic update.
Well, just to talk, you almost can't have any sort of. It's insane. Like I think I told you this. Like I'll be watching a TV show. How much this has permeated our lives. I'll be watching a TV show, and I'll see like two people standing next to each other, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like when we take the elevator, like I'm literally like, "Go over there in the corner, get away." Like it's things like that to just like. And then the other thing is, I keep trying to remember how many surfaces I touched. Like when I disinfect around the house, the often touched surfaces. Like I'm like, did I get them all? And then you forget one and you're like, fuck, I got to use another Clorox wipe. God damn it.
I'm just mad it's making me wash my hands.
Oh, my hands are so fucking dry.
No, my hands are bad. I'm joking. I wash my hands before the.
No, me too. It's just, I mean.
No, but I'm washing my hands a lot because I just got a new puppy. So I had to pick up his poop a lot. And then on top of that, I'm already washing 2 or 3 times more.
I'll be honest.
I use a lot of alcohol. I don't use a lot of alcohol. If I'm drinking it, I use a lot. But not a lot of my hands.
Like before this, like if I'm out in public and I use the restroom, I wash my hands.
I'm not stopping touching my face, okay?
It's hard not to.
Because my go-to move in my everyday life is to just sigh and rub the bridge of my nose.
Which means you're fucked.
Yeah, I got it.
No,
and I got a big bushy beard.
But once I got home, I didn't really wash my hands like a lot after I used the restroom, sure. But, not as often as I do now. Like, I mean, I go outside for a smoke, and every time I come back in from that, I wash my hands.
I think that some people...
And I didn't used to.
Yeah. And I think some people are taking it better than others, for sure.
Dude, my mom is way, way stronger about this than I am. Oh my
God. I am actually... Well, you and I have talked about this. We're built for quarantines. I mean, we're built to just sit in the house and do nothing.
I'm just worried about. I'm kind of selfish. I'm worried about my friends and family. I'm worried about me. I'm worried. In the back of my mind, again, I'm trying to remain positive. And like you said at the beginning of the show, we're semi-urban, and like it or not, all the other things we talked about. Generally, I would give Kim a B. In terms of the job she's done.
Yeah,
and I'm talking about the whole thing. In the first couple weeks, I was giving her an A. And in the last couple weeks, I've given her kind of a C plus B minus.
I just don't know.
But that's my own opinions about stuff.
Well,
I'd say a B, and she's...
There's an issue you run into...
To flatten the curve, I mean, she's done...
Well, there's issues you run into with this country because we're so diverse in a way that the flyover states... They're not going to have as much restrictions as in New York or in L.A. because middle America has to keep the country going.
Hey, do you know how the Black Plague spread in Europe? Ports.
Yeah.
Guess what New York and L.A. and San Francisco and Seattle and, port cities.
Yeah. Well,
Philadelphia is a port city. Boston.
Washington State was the hotbed. Like it really hit the fan in Washington. That's what.
Well, that's a lot of cruise ships like leave from and dock from there and shit.
But that's the thing too, which is frustrating because some states like
it's not the same as
Iowa,
the 16th century out there, 14th, whatever.
But with Iowa,
they don't have wooden ships anymore.
They don't.
No. Not many.
They don't have like one. There's got to be. You're sidetracking me. Boats.
I'm thinking of pirates and shit.
No, that's not like a rover.
It's Port Seattle. Let's take it, laddies.
Yeah, I'm like, Pirates of the Caribbean is what I was thinking. But it's different.
Fuck you.
I'm actually glad we did this episode because I have been just losing my mind the last few weeks.
Take this, Spokane.
But Iowa is definitely different than Washington or L.A. or New York, and Nebraska is different. And that's
shit. There's nothing in Nebraska. There's like 5 people.
This
in Nebraska.
Is the issue with
sitting around campfire.
And this is the thing about I'm gonna ignore it. This is the thing.
I'm gonna ignore you making fun of my home state.
I'm gonna try and move on.
All of Jake's friends hate me now. They're like, you fucking dick. There's a dog running around somewhere. Definitely some Busch Light. Sorry.
Busch Light's bigger in Iowa than
That's
Nebraska.
True. What do you guys drink in Nebraska?
Anything. So
for a second I was like, what kind of beer? Oh, nice.
Anything light?
Yeah. Anything ice. Anything dry.
Anything heavy.
Mashed potatoes? That sounds good.
We're never gonna get back on track.
That's fine. No, go ahead. So we were talking.
It's harder to do with working class states.
Yeah.
Because majority of the workforce is essential, versus places like New York and LA that have more entertainment or media based jobs. So a lot of people are actually going to be working from home.
In New York, you got a lot of apartments about the size of this room with like 8 people living in them.
Yeah, not very studio apartments in New York.
Kind of tough to get away from each other in New York.
Well, no, yeah, a city. It's like
we have a lot of space.
It's like what happened in China. They live in a lot of urban, cramped spaces, so it's bound to spread. And I was not surprised at all that New York had the problems they did.
No, and we are considered still semi-urban, even in the big city we live in.
And LA makes so much sense with all the homeless problems that they have in California. I am a little bit surprised that the virus hasn't spread more because of that problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as bad as we think, but I don't know. From the podcast I listen to of people in California, there are a lot of homeless people in San Francisco. Where there was poop on the sidewalk, human poop. And we'll get into that a different day. No, I don't want to talk about homeless people pooping. Did I tell you about the time, sidetrack for the episode? I tell you about the time
band camp.
We had friends in Portland, and I stayed in Portland.
Huh.
And we got berated by a homeless man.
No.
Or at the very least.
What do you mean you got berated?
Okay, so we're at this place called Voodoo Donuts. And it's more on the western side of the country.
Question, real quick.
What?
When you did this visit, was weed legal there?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to understand the mindset. We're at a donut place, dude.
No, actually, I did not partake.
Oh, good. But Voodoo Donuts sounds like a place that would pop up in a legal weed state.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's one in Colorado.
Gee, this one is 8 fucking pounds,
man.
They're
like on the west side. It's like In-N-Out, kind of.
It's $4, dude.
Where it's like on the western part.
Mostly flour.
Dude, there was literally one with just a piece of bacon on it. It was just a donut with a strip of bacon.
Keep your sweets off my bacon.
No, man. You get candied bacon on there.
No.
Yeah, dude. Get some brown sugar on it.
Honey, just give me some fucking bacon and then.
Anyway,
bacon.
Anyway, we're in line at this Voodoo Donut.
That's right.
And the line's going out the door. Like, it's popular. It's a Sunday morning. And you know millennials, we love our brunch.
Fucking assholes.
So we go to Voodoo Donuts because, again, we don't have it here.
Do you really? Is that a thing?
And we're standing out of line. But here's the thing. It's a cash-only store. And the homeless people know that. So they want to go and beg over there, right?
Great.
So we're standing in line. We're heading in.
But generally, the homeless people probably wait at the outdoor, right?
Dude, Portland has a serious homeless problem. Because there was
sure.
like some shanty town places in Portland. We were just like walking around. But anyway, this guy has a skateboard in his hand. And he's like...
I have no legs.
Yeah, no, he was walking around and the skateboard was his legs. He was melded to the skateboard. I've never seen it.
It's fucking crazy.
Portland's fucking weird, man.
Whoa, dude. All right, so anyway.
We're being overrun by
cyborg homeless skaters
that eat the children.
Homeless mutant cyborg skaters. Homeless mutant cyborg skaters. Homeless mutant cyborg skaters. Heroes in a butthole. Cyborg power.
Forget it. The point of the story is it's not your fault. The point of the story is we're standing there and he comes up and he's trying to ask people for money for a bottle of water, which fine strategy, sir. But there was a water.
Fine strategy, sir.
Fine strategy. If you want my money, homeless person, you're going to need to do better than that.
You have to wake up a little earlier than that in the morning if you're going to fool Winston Thorpe III.
I know, with the liquor stores open. Anyway.
Thank God for this episode. Okay. So anyway.
We're almost in there. But he's trying to get a bottle of water.
Right.
And then, first of all, there's like a water fountain not that far from him.
Dumbass.
Rookie mistake.
Right?
But even in that time,
I just became homeless yesterday. I'm still figuring it out.
He's trying
to
get this bottle of water, and we're like, everybody's just ignoring him. He's just ignoring him. He goes, "Why anybody fucking pay attention?" And slams his skateboard on like this metal post or concrete post. I can't remember. Slams the skateboard, spooks everybody like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" That escalated so fast. And in that time, he is throwing that fit. A second homeless person walks in, goes through the line, goes into the shop, gets a bottle of water, and walks out. So we all know this guy's scamming us because that homeless guy
just got a free bottle of water.
Yeah, right. And so that happens. And then as we're almost into the shop, this girl walks up to Ashley, and Ashley is like, my fiance, she is like trying to like get behind me in a way. Or I don't know what was going on. And because she's trying to avoid this girl. And this girl walks up with a hat, a flat bill hat on with a pot leaf and like Rastafari colors on it. I'm like, wow, man. Wow, dude. And she comes up and she's like, hey, can I have some money to get a donut, whatever that. Like begging as if she's a homeless person. But if you look at this girl, I'm like, there's no way you're homeless.
You just bought that at the Gap.
Right.
Or Lids.
I can see the sticker.
You just got it at Lids.
Lids. So that was my experience with a homeless person.
You know what I'd like to advertise? All the drugs I'm doing.
Right?
I like to wear, Budweiser t-shirts and pot leaf hats. Like,
I hope this doesn't show up on my social media when I want to get a job.
You know what I'm
Giant pot leaf on my shirt.
You know what I'm really disappointed about? that back in my my 26 to 28 years when I was really into cocaine, I'm really disappointed there wasn't like a cocaine leaf or something that I could like put on my clothes.
It's just a bump.
Yeah, just a big line of white powder. Like, hey guys, I just want to show wear this
razor
because,
blade next to
dude,
it?
I'm all about cocaine life, man. 490 or whatever the fuck it is.
If I could put it in
as
my
long as it's high, man, I don't give a fuck what the number is, dude.
If I could put it in my nostril, it's a good day for me, dude.
Funny story about that. I had a friend.
Are we really doing this?
Sure. What, are we doing something else?
Now we're completely not even talking about.
Real quick.
I was going to say we could wrap the show.
Well, let me tell the story and we'll wrap it because it's a funny story.
All right.
So I had a friend and he had a bunch of cocaine and he was like really stuffed up because he did a lot. So like really stuffed up to the point where he could not snort anything up his nose. And he was just like, and we're hanging out and we're after the bars and stuff and he's just like, God damn it, dude. Like, I got all this shit and I can't fucking do it. You know, just like, okay. So I was like, hey man, do you have, and he lived like in a one of those apartments in a house where it's like basically a bedroom and then there's like a shared bathroom and then a kitchen downstairs, like in a college town, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all in his room and I'm like, do you have a microwave? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you have a bowl? And he's like, yeah. And he takes the bowl. I'm like, go fill it up with water, microwave the shit out of it till it's steaming, put a towel over your head, and then put your head over the fucking steam and clean your fucking nostrils out. Huh. And because of me, my friend was able to do all that cocaine.
Wow.
Fucking hero, man.
Jesus.
Hero!
I don't know if we should bring that in. Jeez.
You know what's really funny is that was after I was... Because otherwise I would have been like, yeah, dude, you don't want to do it? Fucking later! Man, that sucks. What do you do? What? No, I'm just leaving with your cocaine. What do you mean?
Well, I guess this has been
What do you mean
episode.
come back here?
I guess this has been
You can't breathe through your nose, motherfucker. Try and run.
Another episode of Tinfoil Radio.
God help us.
The coronavirus therapy
We dropped
sesh.
from 20 to like 4 listeners after this week, and I'm sorry.
I
feel really responsible, actually.
Yeah, well, that's why I love you, buddy. Thanks for listening to another episode of Tinfoil Radio.
Love is code for hate.
Remember, it's crossover week for Loud and Opinionated, so we will be on the Loud Sports feed. And that episode will come up on Tuesday. It's going to be sports conspiracies. It's going to be a lot of fun. Not nearly as off the rails as this episode
No,
is.
like Jake said, we kind of needed to just have a stupid episode.
We just needed to yell at each other.
We did. We got through some serious stuff, but we also just at the end
at each other. We're just yelling in the other person.
At the end, honestly, all that shit at the end, it just felt nice
Yeah.
to just cut loose and be like, fuck it.
Yeah. And we've done a ton, and we've been doing...
Sorry.
And I've been doing a lot of research on Alex Jones, and I just really wanted an episode to blow it off. So next week, Tyler will watch it. I will make him watch it. We will be talking... We will be reviewing Tiger King with Paul Rubidoux from Loud Sports.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do I have to watch all of the episodes, or can I just watch one so I kind of get an idea of like what?
No, you've got to watch.
Fuck, I don't want to watch.
You're gonna get hooked. I promise you. If you don't, I will allow you to read the synopsis online.
The Cliff Notes.
Yeah, I know you're gonna.
Thanks,
do it.
Wikipedia.
I gave you that out because I know you're gonna do that anyway. So you get enough information.
I don't do the fucking research. I come up with stories
Tyler
from my
is
past.
Sitting on your ass for 7 hours.
My job is to come up with stories from my past about how much I used to love to do cocaine. Okay, Jesus, and I'm very good at it.
We're trying to get a cocaine sponsorship.
God damn it! Hello,
Tony Montana,
Colombia.
Come to beautiful Colombia,
Bogota.
So yes, it's crossover week. Tiger King.
We just offended a whole fucking country, man. How the fuck do we do that?
We don't have any Colombian listeners.
We don't now. Fuck.
Shut up. First you attacked Israel, now Colombia.
Such a nationalist.
Yeah, Tyler has a terrible foreign affairs. So anyway, you can get this episode in the show wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, all those places. I'm a big fan of Podcast Addict. Been using that. It's a good app if you have Android, especially. You can send us your conspiracies, or we can do a listener conspiracy episode, and you don't even need to give us a full theory. Just give us 3 things.
Again, like 4 words, 4 things.
Nazis, Cold War, pandemic. There, figure something out.
Turntable, underwear, chipmunk,
monkey wrench,
Soviets. Go.
Monkey wrench.
What?
Chipmunk and a monkey wrench.
And a monkey wrench?
Yeah.
A chipmunk fucking a monkey wrench.
A chip monkey wrench. There you go.
A monkey wrench fucking a chipmunk.
Wouldn't it be the other way? Anyway, I gotta get out of here. Just remember,
in the wild, the chipmunk is afraid of the monkey
follow
wrench.
us on Twitter at tinfoil_radio. Send conspiracies to Tinfoil Radio Podcast.
But the monkey wrench will not be deterred.
Shut up. And remember, if you're already hearing that, or if you're, damn it, if you can hear this,
we're already dead.
What is my problem?